So we've got a pocket here. This pocket's more interesting than a regular patch pocket in that there's no top stitching. There is a fold down hem at the top, and there's a fold at the bottom which actually goes up inside the pocket there, and it's having this flap at the bottom that allows us to have no top stitching on the pocket, and we've just used some bar tacks to sort of like secure things and give it that little bit of interest there. So the first thing we need to do is we have the top and the bottom overlocked, and then they both press to the inside. I've done this, one's a centimetre longer than the other, and it's the flap at the bottom which is longer. You can put this in position so it's in the right position on the garment, and then we fold this back so that this stays in place. You could put a pin in there if you wanted to, but it's something that I would do and then go, like straight to the machine while it's still in place.
And starting a centimetre in though.
Yeah.
Finishing a centimetre.
Yeah, because we need to turn these edges under,
Yeah.
so we can't stitch all the way to the edge.
Yeah.
Oops. Alright, so that's that there. As you can see now, this is secure underneath here. Actually what we should have done first, it's alright, we can do it now, is we need to bag out this corner here.
So you've just folded that right.
Yeah, so I folded this, so it's folded there. So I've just turned it back this way, so that's our pocket there. I've folded it back because I want to bag out this edge here, so that we've got this bagged out here.
Yeah.
So that's the bit that I'm doing now. And it is a little bit easier if you actually do it before you sew the pocket into position, but either way you've got, you know where you're going and you know what to aim for. It's the same on the other side. Fold it back. Okay. So now we need to get in here, fold that corner back. Okay, so there's our flap at the bottom. Now we just have to attach this to the sides, and this is one of those things I actually need. This would be a good place for you to actually have some marks. So have some chalk marks. So if you had a chalk mark running along here, that would be good. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tuck the edges under. And then I'm going to fold this back, and then I'm going to pin through the seam allowance there to hold that in place. Because what we need to do now is we actually need to get in to this point down here, and we need to sew up this side.
So you could pop a couple of pins in if you need to. If
Yeah.
you're confident with how you're holding it, or if you it doesn't work out, then maybe just pin it.
Yeah, so what you'd have to do here is just get that so you can see the point where you're going to stop, get that sit nice and flat.
And if you had a chalk line, you could just line it up with the chalk line.
Well, that's the other thing too, you could have a chalk line along this raw edge here, so that's 1 centimetre in from the finished edge.
Quite handy, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So what I want to do down the bottom here before I start sewing, I'm just going to fold that out of the way there, that little corner out of the way.
So don't sew over it.
So yes, that might create a tuck or something. And make sure this is all nice and flat and sharp. Okay, so that's sewn down there. So when we open that up,
Where's the magic?
you can see that it's there. And you can see that tiny little bit of black stitching there, but if you were doing it, you should actually be doing this in the same colour anyway, so you wouldn't see that.
Back tack or something down there, bar tack.
Yeah, exactly, which is what I've done on the sample. So this one here on this side, this is a little bit trickier because you've actually got, you don't have this side open, it's closed. So again, just pop in here.
You could press that too, press the seam allowance under.
Exactly, yep, that would be a good idea, but I'm too lazy to do that.
Do as we say,
not as we do.
Not as we do.
So what I might do for this side is actually start at the top and work my way down. So I pin that into position. Also too, if you had like a chalk mark along the top edge or something here, you'd be able to have that to follow. Now the thing with this too is that you need to make sure that it stays nice and taut. So I've got the bottom there, and I'm just pulling on that to make it straight, and so that it doesn't, wander off on a curve or something.
Then you could pin this. So do what you need to do.
Yeah,
To have
and just
control of
that
it.
little corner there, just sort of pull that out of the way. Okay, so down that side. Remember too, I've only just got this piece that I'm working on. If you were putting this on a jacket or a coat, you would have the rest of it. So that's why when you're doing pockets like this, you have to do them when you've got as little as possible. So if this was the centre front here and you had a panel line underneath, you'd sew that panel line on both sides, like the right front and the left front. Then you'd sew the pocket on, and then you'd sew the jacket to the other pieces. So you'd never do this, like if you've got the sleeves in there or the lining or something, it would never happen. In which case you'd probably have to do it by hand, stitch it by hand. So
It's quite easy to do.
Yeah.
A little bit tricky, but
So we've got the flap down the bottom there, and then with this top edge here, if you turn that down inside there, and then you could do a stitch across there,
or a bar tack.
or a bar tack, which is what I've
That's
done
if you want to see
done here. So a bar tack across the top, and then a bar tack here at the bottom. So that would be here. So that would also help too, because you could sort of pull that into position a little bit more, and then bar tack, and that would.
But a thicker wool fabric would probably sit really nicely and not need any.
Yeah.